Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Let's talk about Jammu and Kashmir today because there was ruckus in the Vidhan Sabha Assembly over a resolution which was passed. Now there were two resolutions which were passed. There was one resolution which was moved by the National Conference yesterday, and there is one today which has been moved by PDP. Now, both resolutions have a different language, they have a different tone and tenor, and probably that is the biggest reason why there was ruckus in the assembly today. Now, if you look at yesterday's uh, resolution, which has been moved, that says that this legislative assembly reaffirms the importance of the special status and constitutional guarantees which safeguarded the identity, culture, and rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and expresses concern over their unilateral removal. This assembly calls upon the government of India to initiate dialogue with elected representatives of people of Jammu and Kashmir for restoration of special status, constitutional guarantees, and to work out constitutional mechanisms for restoring these provisions. Now, this was yesterday's resolution which was passed, and today the one which has been moved by the PDP, it specially uh, calls out for the restoration of Article 370. I'm just going to read a few lines from that resolution so that you can make out the difference between the two resolutions. This one, the one which is passed today or moved today, says that this House strongly condemns the unconstitutional and unilateral abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A, along with the enactment of Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019 by the Government of India. These actions stripped Jammu and Kashmir of its special status and statehood, undermining the foundational guarantees and protections originally accorded to the region and its people by the Constitution of India. And what have they demanded? That's very important. This House unequivocally demands the immediate restoration of Article 370 and Article 35A in their original unaltered form and calls for the reversal of all changes introduced by the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019. Now, one of the leaders apparently walked in with a banner for the restoration of Article 370. That banner was allegedly being snatched by some of the BJP leaders, and that's when this ruckus happened in the assembly. But the big question is that what is the real significance of this resolution, and why is this resolution being passed? Whether it was yesterday's resolution, whether it was today's resolution, but is it not something merely symbolic? And what is the politics behind it? We'll try and understand all of this. Joining me now is Puneet Nicholas Yadav, senior editor with the Federal, and he tracks Jammu and Kashmir very, very closely. Thank you so much, Puneet, for joining. We have Dr. Abhijit Jasrotia, who's the BJP spokesperson and leader, joining us from Jammu. Thank you so much for joining. And we have Suhail Kazmi, who's the editor-in-chief of a very popular newspaper in Jammu called Daily Taskeen. Thank you so much, Mr. Kazmi, for joining. And I'll just begin with Puneet today, because I want the viewers to understand the perspective in which this resolution has been passed. Puneet, over to you now. What is the real significance of this resolution, and why so much of politics behind it?
Thanks, Neelu. Small correction there. There aren't two resolutions that have been passed. There is one resolution that has been passed, which was the resolution that was moved by the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Surinder Chaudhary, yesterday. It's a very cautiously worded, very mild resolution. A lot of people would say it's a scaling back on part of the National Conference, because all it says is, or all it calls for, is for initiating a dialogue with the center, or for the center to initiate a dialogue with the elected representatives of J&K on the restoration of special status. There is no mention in that resolution of Article 370, no direct mention of Article 370 or 35A. There's merely talk of initiating a dialogue. It's a very, very cautiously worded resolution. One could even say that it's a resolution that doesn't really mean a lot. The resolution that was submitted today, not passed, but submitted today by Engineer Rashid's brother, who is the MLA from Langet, from the AIP, Sheikh Khurshid, and there were other MLAs who've associated with that resolution, Sajjad Lone of the People's Conference, the three PDP MLAs. That resolution is a very strongly worded resolution, which, as you read out, mentions 370, mentions 35A, condemns the abrogation, and asks for a rescinding of the abrogation and a rescinding of the J&K Reorganization Act. So there's a major difference, not just in the language of the two resolutions, but also in what the two mean, in the substance of the two resolutions. And only the resolution that was moved yesterday was passed. In fact, a day before that, Wahid Para, who's the PDP MLA from Pulwama, had also moved or tried at least to move a resolution which is similar to the one that has been submitted today. Neither Mr. Para's resolution nor the resolution moved today have been passed by the Assembly. So, I mean, that is an important caveat there. Now, the political implications, of course, we have the spokesperson from the BJP, so I wouldn't want to second guess what he would like to say in terms of the stand that his party is taking. But to my mind, see, nothing, absolutely nothing, except, of course, the scuffle that broke out in the Assembly today. Absolutely nothing about the resolution or the demand for restoration of special status or the BJP's protest is surprising. It's a political stand for the parties from Kashmir as much as it's a political stand for the BJP. The entire election was fought by the parties from Kashmir on the promise of initiating the process to restore Article 370. It was there in the National Conference's manifesto. If at all there is a change, the change is in the attitude of the National Conference, which has scaled back from directly talking of restoration of Article 370 to merely initiating a dialogue. Now, the unfortunate part here, to my mind, is the stand taken by the BJP in J&K, which is averse to even a dialogue, right? So all that resolution calls for is a dialogue. As I have said earlier, it's a very cautiously worded resolution that means, in its substance, means very little.
Mr. Kazmi, to you. Now, why is BJP not open to a dialogue? And as what Puneet explained very rightly, that there was a resolution which was passed yesterday, which was a cautiously worded one, and which talked about initiating a dialogue with the center. And now today, you see there's a ruckus in the house. There's a leader who holds the banner, and then BJP comes and snatches that banner, and which all leads to a scuffle in the house. What do you think has really happened? And why is BJP not open? Yes.
Thank you very much, Niluji. Thanks for calling me for the debate. Firstly, these all 28 MLAs from BJP. Out of 28, I think only few people are old. One who knows the basic integrities of the assembly proceedings. Rest all of them doesn't know the basic integrities of the assembly proceedings. And in assembly proceedings, whenever we see speaker has only a right to pass the resolution, any resolution, what sort of resolution, any kind of resolution, he can pass with the highest numbers. And as sir has clearly elaborated all the things, that 62 members out of 90, they signed the resolution passed by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Surendra Chaudhary ji, and finally it was passed. But it is only passed in assembly. It has not been gone, given the nod that it is finalized. Basically, previously also in 1999 there was a resolution of autonomy, regional autonomy, that too with a thumping majority of 2/3 majority of Farooq Abdullah government, and it was sent to the parliament. The parliament has the prerogative to to initiate whether they will be doing it or they will not be accepting it. And they didn't accept that regional autonomy resolution. It was thrown into dustbin at that time of that time. Now, as rightly elaborated by senior colleague, this resolution is also like that only, and they are all demanding restoration of now special status. What do you mean by the special status? It is Article 371, which ensures the dignity and the safeguarding of the land and the job opportunities for our coming generations. This is the only focus. Now, BJP
Firstly,
doesn't understand.
then why is BJP not open to a dialogue? The simple resolution which was passed yesterday said that center regarding the restoration of the special status. Now, what is the harm if the parties want to initiate a dialogue, want to sit and talk to the center? What is the harm? Why there was so much scuffle today? Yes.
So let me talk now. See, two, three things are there. First of all, why are we talking about Article 370? What is there in Article 370 now? Already the things were decided by the Supreme Court of this country. This Article 370 no more exists, and we no more need to talk about this Article 370. Why are you wasting time of the public expenditure also on this? Because they also know very well, be it NC, PDP or Congress, they also know very well that it's never going to come back. Now talking about the constitution and the unconstitutional part of this Article 370. When this Article 370 was given to us, rather loaded on our heads, was the consent of the people of Jammu and Kashmir? No way, it was the consent of Jammu and Kashmir or the people of India at that time. Just only by one presidential order, Nehru ji on this, when Sheikh Abdullah demanded for all this, that Nehru ji decided to force it on our Jammu and Kashmir, or this Article 370. So was it a constitution? Simple presidential order by which it was given to us. Now the way it was, the way we got rid of this Article 370.
My simple question to you is that you call it an achievement, right? Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, everyone in the BJP calls it a big achievement that we've revoked the Article 370. Now, the opposition parties in Jammu and Kashmir say that this was against the will of the people. Now, you have an assembly, a newly formed assembly, where the political parties, the opposition parties, are expressing the will of the people. All they are saying is that it was against the will of the people. Let's sit and talk. Now, why is BJP closing the doors? My simple question to you is, now you are saying that why are we even talking? Why should we not talk? The opposition parties are asking you this question. They want to initiate a dialogue. Why are you not open to this dialogue? Why are you closing the doors?
Okay. Just give me 2 minutes to explain my point. Is it the will of the people, or is it the will of the certain dynastical snollygoster leaders over here? Whose will is it? Who says it's the will of the people? First and foremost of all, if they said that people have voted us for revoking the Article 370, then let me make one thing very clear to you, that it is the BJP which is the single largest party in Jammu and Kashmir in this recent election. We have scored 1.5 lakh more votes than National Conference. On our only this agenda that we have revoked Article 370 from Jammu and Kashmir. So what is the will of the people is they don't want Article 370. So what they got from Article 370, West POJ refugees who were treated as aliens in their own land for 60 years, these Valmiki Samaj, who was basically forced to clean the filth of these people for 30 years, and their PhD graduate scholars were forced to do the job of a sweeper over here. What we got from Article 370, that our women, our ladies, whenever they used to marry outside of Jammu and Kashmir, they used to lose their citizenship. And irony was this, that somebody who came from Pakistan, she used to become the citizen of Jammu and Kashmir. Now what we have got, why should people go for it? Why should the women, why should ladies, why should Valmiki Samaj, why should normal people go for Article 370? It is only just a few dynastical political parties over here who just want to,
Abhijit, what you are saying is the will of the BJP. What I'm saying now is, what is the need to talk about Article 370? The opposition parties in a newly formed Jammu and Kashmir, if the opposition parties are wanting to pass a resolution and talk about a dialogue, why are you closing the doors? You are saying that no, there's no need. I mean, be open to the people. That is where the problem is. It thinks that it has revoked Article 370, then nobody should talk about it anymore. Should that be an attitude?
Just need to tell me one thing. Do you think that these certain opportunistic leaders and certain opportunistic political parties are even above the Supreme Court of this country? Or do you think that the Supreme Court of this country is incapable? They have already done a brainstorming, and I think they have done it enough for 3 or 4 years, even more than that. After that, they have drawn this conclusion that we don't require Article 370. Why should all these things that somebody's talking about the special status, or somebody, just give me 1 minute now. Somebody's talking about the special status. Already we are having a domicile law over here, which is as good as Article 371. We are guarded by domicile law. Just you are befooling certain people. I'll tell you what's the reason. Reason is this, that from past 50, 60 years, you have nothing for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. May it be PDP, NC or Congress. No, you have to rant this raga of Article 370 because you don't have done anything like us, but we have done in 5, 6 years. GDP double. Then this deficit of this J&K bank, now it is a performing J&K bank, which is giving profit to us. Then jobs are there, then G20 is there, then 2.5 crore tourists are there. This is what we have achieved after abrogation.
Abhijit, I don't want to talk about G20 and the growth story. We've heard enough from the BJP on that. Let me get in Puneet quickly on this, and then I'll go to Mr. Kazmi. Just hear us out, all of us. Yes, Puneet, over to you.
Just a couple of quick points, Neelu, to what Mr. Jasrotia was mentioning. And with due respect, one, when he says, who is talking about Article 370? Who wants to talk about Article 370? Why should we discuss Article 370? The point is, does the resolution passed yesterday, I'm not talking about the one submitted, I'm talking about the one that has been passed by the Assembly. Does that mention Article 370? Who is protesting about it? It's the BJP. One. Second, what is the legal standing of that resolution? Is that resolution binding? Even a cautiously worded resolution that was passed, is it binding? Does it mean Article 370 has been given back? It's not, even this call for initiating a dialogue is not binding on the center. The center may very well say that fine, the Assembly is saying we don't want to initiate a dialogue. Just like the BJP leaders are saying that there can be no dialogue. Second point. Third point is that, when these kind of claims and very misleading information that is bandied about, that, J&K's growth story, please look at the kind of, last 10 years. First, when they were part of a coalition government, and then President's rule. I don't want to go into the details of the Supreme Court's judgment. The Supreme Court's judgment, fine, everyone has to live with it. It has been, passed and all that. But, it's not as if the Supreme Court's judgment cannot be critiqued. There is very much, there's a lot about the Supreme Court's judgment which does not cut judicial, legal scrutiny. And there have been multiple commentaries by many legal experts on that judgment itself. So, just because the Supreme Court has passed it, the Supreme Court has not said that you can never have a discussion, you can never have a dialogue. Is that mentioned in the Supreme Court's judgment?
Yes, let's get it.
And then, this whole thing that the Valmiki Samaj. Now, I'm saying this with full responsibility. The National Conference did grave injustice to the Valmiki Samaj. There is no denying that. But please tell me, over the last, 6 years, reservation, yes, much needed. Voting rights, much needed. No two ways about that. Please tell me, how many people from the Valmiki Samaj have, has the BJP actually installed in any position of importance? You've just appointed your LOP. You're rejigging your party organization in J&K. A whole lot of appointments were made over the last 5 years of the LG administration. How many Dogras, how many people from the Valmiki Samaj were given that kind of prominence? It's all right to ask for votes on these grounds, but then what have you done to qualitatively improve their life or to give them the voice that they need in that democracy, a voice that the National Conference very wrongly suppressed for all these years?
Right. Okay. So let me, before I come to Abhijit, Mr. Kazmi has to go to another channel, so I'll allow him to speak first. Mr. Kazmi, now what do you make of this resolution, which has been passed yesterday, and the one which was worded very strongly today, and then there was a ruckus in the House. Now, is this all symbolic, and why is BJP making so much out of this situation? I'll come to Abhijit.
BJP has to listen, Nilu ma'am. BJP has to understand that they are in opposition, and the assembly is run by certain rules and regulations, and they have to adhere the rules and regulations of the assembly proceedings. Assembly proceedings stands for discussions, and BJP, unfortunately, the people who have been there in assembly from BJP, out of 28, I think more than 20, they are new people. They doesn't know the assembly proceedings, and the assembly secretariat itself is a body which is headed by a speaker and the secretary legislative assembly. I have been there for 2 years as member best legislative award committee. I know the rules and regulation. And secondly, Bharatiya Janata Party has to understand they should believe, if they want to govern in future, they should believe in healthier discussions, and healthier discussions are only possible in assembly sessions. They should go with the roadmap. They should have that questionnaire session. They should put their counties before the assembly so that they can be discussed tomorrow in coming assembly discussions. But they don't believe in discussions. They believe that they have to rule the state by hook or the crook. They have to rule the India by hook or crook till the India is there. So that is that. We are a civilized country. We are a civilized state, and people, the verdict of the people, the mandate of the people have to be saluted up. They don't believe in all these things. This is unfortunate for them and their party also.
All right. Abhijit, now your response, please. Yes. Also to what Puneet said and
Yeah.
Mr. Kazmi.
Okay. First to Puneet, first of all. I have seen enough, please don't mind me, but I have seen enough of the paratrooper landers in Jammu and Kashmir who really come and become experts over here. But let me tell you one thing that I have grown over here, and I have seen that 90 period also, and I've seen after that also. And I have seen people getting shielded under Article 370. I have seen JKCA scam, and I have seen 1.5 lakh graves, which were all due to this Article 370 shield, because this special provision was giving this thing only to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Sorry again. Now you are talking about Valmiki Samaj has got, after 3 or more than 4 decades, this Valmiki Samaj has voted for the first time. Their children and educated children, they have now applied for a gazetted post also for the first time after 4 decades. Just the apathy which was done to all these people who were forced to clean the filth of this National Conference and Congress only over here. Just ask those people of West Park refugees who came here 6-7 decades back, and they were treated as aliens on their own. Just ask then what they got out of this Article 370. Ask Kashmiri Pandits also. The way when they were basically they were thrown out of Kashmir just only because of their religion, that they were Kashmiri Hindus. That was the only reason. Again, this state was guarded into Article 370, and center could not act at that time. Ask that Nadi Marg, where 24 Kashmiri Pandits were they were killed at point blank. Out of this, there were 4 innocent kids, and nobody asked. And this government of that time, 2003, that was again an alliance between between Congress and PDP. They were busy in giving birth to the people. They were giving that healing touch. That healing touch was for terrorists or for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We have suffered enough. You tell me what we have got from this Article 370. Tell me single thing which is an achievement of Article 370. Not at all. Pakistan intrusion is there. Everything was there. Then you see that now this assembly has started, and a day before yesterday, somebody was paying homage to that traitor Gilani. That was again this Article 370 which has given to all these people. We have got traitors in Article 3, like Gilani. We have seen 1.5 graves due to Article 370. We have seen their corruption and all those things due to Article 370. There is a JKCA scam which was more than 100 crore rupees. Nobody asked them that where 100 crore rupees of those kids have gone. Their cricket bats were sold in 104 CR. Nobody asked them due to the shield of Article 370.
Okay, Abhijit, we have limited time now. All what I'm asking is, whatever your government has done, whatever BJP has done on the revocation of Article 370, you are saying that you will not be open to any kind of dialogue if the political parties in J&K want it. Is that what you're saying? Very short and succinct answer I
Very
want.
short, I will say. I will just repeat the words of our honorable Home Minister. जान दे देंगे, धारा 370 नहीं आने देंगे, फिर से लोगों से नाइंसाफी नहीं हो. These are clear, and this is clear to everyone.
So you're not ready for any kind of dialogue. I'm not.
No dialogue on this. No dialogue on the graves of the people. No dialogue on the apathy. No dialogue on injustice over here.
All right. All right. Okay, fine. You made your point. Okay, Puneet, concluding remarks now, and then we'll end the show. Yes.
No, well, Neelu, I think I've come to the wrong platform because I didn't know this was a place for making political speeches or that we were still electioneering. You know, this kind of thing of name calling somebody, paratrooper hai, you know, these kind of things. We're having an informed discussion. This is the problem with the BJP. They do not want to listen to any other view except their own. And anybody else who does not agree with their view, they'll, give some name and then they'll go into a political speech. So I don't want to get into that kind of a fisticuff here, you know. I'm saying a simple thing. Fine, you don't want to have a discussion, that's your prerogative. But please tell me, you know, when an elected government is saying that we want to have a dialogue, and they're not saying that restore 370. In fact, I mean, Omar Abdullah has said that we don't expect the BJP to restore 370. He's said that on record multiple times, and he said that, you know, when there is a new government, we can think about it. But as long as the BJP is in power, we can't expect them to give us back 370. And so the only way forward is to find a middle ground. Now, the problem with the BJP is you can't expect them to find a middle ground because they're never open to a middle ground. It's always my way or the highway. This is the same BJP. And again, I don't want to, you know, get into replying to WhatsApp forwards and, misinformation. But this is the same BJP that will make exceptions when it is convenient to them. So, you know, they'll talk about uniform civil code. They'll say, we'll keep the tribals out. We'll keep so-and-so out. We'll keep so-and-so out. They'll talk about giving protections to other states under Article 371. That is also a special status. When you say that we're going to give certain protections to people in Uttarakhand, certain protections to people in Himachal, certain protections to people in the Northeast, that is also special status. So if J&K wants special status, why can't you even have a dialogue? It's as simple as that. And there is nothing in the demand, and I'm not talking about 370 again, let me qualify that. I'm again saying specific to special status, multiple things raised by their honorable leader and the country's home minister, Mr. Amit Shah, during the campaign in J&K are direct or indirect references to protections which other states have under Article 371. So if the home minister of the country is alluding to protections that other states have under 371, why should people in J&K, and I'm not talking only about Kashmir, I'm talking equally about people in Jammu, why shouldn't they have those protections if those protections will give them a certain sense of dignity, a certain sense of oneness, prosperity? What is so wrong with it? I don't understand this thing. We are not going to have any dialogue, and anybody else who disagrees with this, we're going to name call.
All right. Now, Abhijit, since you raised your hand, I'll allow you to make a point, but very
last comment, just with my apologies to him. Please don't mind. I was not talking on those lines. First of all, if you talk about a dignity, na, just look into this. The Kashmiri Pandits, whose exodus was done only just because of their religion. They do have the dignity. Now you're talking about the special status. We are already having the same thing like 371. It is, we are having domicile law over here. That domicile law is basically the same what is Article
Okay,
371.
we are coming back to
So
the
what
same
I
point.
want to say is, I
Yeah.
want to say is this, that we people have suffered due to Article 3. Just one thing I would like to know from you. Suppose I enter into your home, I steal whatever is in your home, and then I said that let's come on have a dialogue. Or please don't mind if I bash you and I say let's have a dialogue on that why I bash you. You can understand that you won't even like to talk to me. You won't even like to look at my face here. What's why you came to my house? Why you talk to me? Like why you stole from my house? Would you like to talk to me? You won't like to. That is what thing which we have suffered. It's an apathy of 50, 60 years. I'll just tell you one, just in 1 minute, 1951, 52, first assembly was Jammu and Kashmir. You know, our Jammu population was 1.5 lakh more than Kashmir. But due to again, courtesy Sheikh Abdullah, he gave one half dozen seat extra to Kashmir.
Abhijit, I'll have to end it here. 6 decades of apathy doesn't mean that you close all the doors for any kind of dialogue. Which this is something which is very difficult to buy. And but you won't agree, I know for sure. But I don't want to get into a further conversation on this. We'll call you for another topic then. But I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Abhijit, for joining.